Hey, Iostex here. I am a professional FPS coach and former professional coach for Overwatch League organizations like the New York Excelsior and the Boston Uprising, with now more than 5 years of professional coaching experience under my belt, running the biggest private coaching business over at iostex.com and helping out players for free over on my Discord's Ask Stux Anything channel. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are we doing?
Pretty good. Good right now. A little under the weather, but I'm on the other side of it, thankfully. So all's good.
Then let me quickly get everything marked here. There we go. Awesome. Okay, so the next hour belongs to us. What can I do for you?
Let me go ahead and send you a replay.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Okay, there you go. So I've been this past month I haven't had the most playtime because I've had like a random job that I was able to do for like the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That I won't be able to do whenever school starts. So I've been just doing that for a bit, and only now recently, like this past week, have I gotten back into my like 20 hours ish a week playtime.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been playing a lot of Zarya, getting like more familiar with that. I feel like I'm very mistake ridden almost, like making a lot of like things that I like will right after be like, why the hell did I just do that? And a lot of like really just like stupid things, like random grabs that like the second after I'm like, what the hell did I just do?
Okay.
Kind of thing. And I also feel like I have problems with getting charge. Like yeah, I feel like I should like have a higher average charge than I do most of the time.
Okay, you're aka the Destro?
Yep.
Okay, can you see the screen share? Is that working?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Anything else I need to know?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. By the way, I'm giving you a quick heads up. So I switched my coaching to Metafy, right? You caught wind of that?
Yeah.
They don't have subscriptions yet, but they will have them in September, which means that you'll probably get a message from me in September asking to move your Phoenix Pass over to Metafy. It's just going to be like an administrative thing, like nothing about the content of the pass or the price or anything is going to change. But that way I have all of the billing on one place, and it just makes my bureaucratic life so much easier. Okay?
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
perfect. Well, step 1 is farming energy. Your team comp is a little bit of a struggle in that regard, because you don't have like a super amazing front line.
Right, and Sigma's hope is just to stay away from danger.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, so far we are very, very low in terms of energy. Okay, good. Getting some. I mean, so far this is fine. Obviously, you need to play a little conservative because you're just not getting as much energy as you could with a double off-tank comp. Also, Junker Town is just kind of a really hard map to play Zarya on, because most of your ult charge actually comes from random spam damage. Like, it's very rare that people intentionally shoot you. But when a map is this open, it's obviously much, much harder to get energy. So one little trick that you can use to get energy whenever you're on like a more open map like this one is try to bubble inside your teammates. Because that way...
so like yeah, body block sort of.
Exactly. So that way, even if you so that way, not only are they... So they basically need to make a choice, right? If you bubble yourself, the choice is very easy. They just don't shoot you, they shoot someone else. But if you use your bubble to body block for one of your teammates, all of a sudden it's like you're protecting two people at once. So it just makes it much, much easier for you to leverage energy out of that situation. Okay. Ooh, why did you self-bubble here?
I think I thought I was taking damage, or like was about to. But yeah, that was definitely a like big like I'm like so like like early with my self bubbles and stuff. I find like I do it way before I even start taking damage, and then I miss out on so much charge because of stuff like that.
So
like
how
this one
should
right
we
here.
how should we use our bubbles in situations like this?
I think I should wait until I'm like actually taking damage instead of like thinking I'm about to take damage. Or no, that doesn't really make sense because then I might, if I actually am taking damage, I'm like going to be dead. So like here I should recognize.
No. So looking at your HP, what's special about Zarya's health bar?
It recharges. Like half of it recharges.
Right. Why does it do that? Have you ever thought about that?
For sustain.
It's not for sustain.
To make her tanky.
It's it's designed to give her like a gameplay flow, kind of a gameplay loop. So the problem is that in order to get energy, you need to kind of bait the enemies into shooting you. If you use your bubble when you're full HP, you know, why would anyone shoot you, especially in higher ranks? So the way that you get energy consistently is by first taking some damage, kind of making yourself a juicy target, and then using your bubble. Because at that point, the enemies are already shooting you. And then they need to make a choice, right? Because not shooting a 400 HP Zarya, that's not like a big sacrifice, right? But
not shooting a 200 HP Zarya.
Not shooting a 200 HP Zarya, that hurts. And you can kind of bait the enemies into just ignoring it. If just shooting through the bubble, saying, fuck it, I'm burning the bubble, taking that risk, and then trying to kill you, right? And that's why... But the problem is that playstyle would be a huge burden on your supports. Right? Because you would basically intentionally take damage. So that's what your shield is for, your blue HP, your self-regenerating HP. Because you can take up to 200 damage without being a burden on your supports at all. That's kind of the wiggle room you have to bait the enemies with.
Okay, that makes so much sense.
Awesome.
Okay.
So that's why we don't want to bubble this early. We want to kind of, be a little cocky. And there's also an argument here. So what I just described, that's how you want to farm energy. But how do we want to use our bubble, our self bubble, when we already have energy?
That's the actually like defending myself one. Like keeping myself alive.
Yeah, so you basically want to use it as leverage. Because if you have your bubble, then the enemy team knows, okay, if we shoot this Zarya, we probably won't be able to kill her because she has her bubble. But if we don't shoot her, she's going to fuck up our entire team, It's
she doesn't roll us,
It's kind of a lose-lose situation. So that's how you want, when you have energy and you have your self bubble, you want to play very aggressive, knowing that you have your bubble, and then only when it's absolutely necessary do you bail out with your self bubble. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. For reference, that kind of transition in terms of playstyle usually happens around 70 energy. So if you have more than 70 energy, you don't really want to use your bubbles to farm energy anymore. You just want to use them defensively to, save yourself.
Sure.
Okay, this is all. So if we look at 1 second. So right here, you use your self bubble. What is your assessment?
I'm using it like to farm energy here and not like defensively. Like I'm still farming energy, but I have 80 energy.
So
I'm
how
like,
should we
basically wasting it.
How should we play here?
Here I should be like very like front and going in with the 80 energy I have to like push past this Sigma shield and start burning them.
Exactly.
But instead I'm very passive and like still thinking charge and not realizing I have 80 energy.
Exactly. So now the problem is, do you see how you have 99 energy, but you can't do anything?
I'm literally behind the payload.
Because you don't have your self bubble.
Right.
Right? It's like
I'm just gonna get hit by the widow.
Yeah, it's like morbid irony, It's like if you look at like, I don't know what his name was, like Bach or Beethoven or Mozart, like the guy who was deaf, right?
Yeah, Beethoven.
Right? He's deaf, but he was such a gifted composer. That's kind of the same thing here, you know? Like, you don't have your self bubble, but you have so much energy, you know?
Mhm.
Don't be like Beethoven.
I'll definitely remember that analogy.
It's one of my better ones. And yeah, see, now we, like, all of that energy is completely gone because we had no way of defending ourselves there, which is not great. Okay. See, right there, you bubbled your Sigma, but that was also very early. With your teammates, you can really wait until they're about to get fucked up. Okay. So the main problem here is this round has been going for 2 minutes, right? As Zarya, we don't want to have 80% ult charge after 2 minutes. And that's a combination of, like, A, getting your charge very slowly, B, not utilizing your charge perfectly, and then C, dying and losing all of that charge. Like, a good benchmark is around 70 to 80 seconds per graph. If you can get that done, that's good. But right here, we're looking at a very, very slow graph.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, let me quickly limit my frame rate. Because I don't want my... It's like super warm in here, and I don't need my PC to fucking spew out hot air.
The stream's frozen. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Oh, it should, yeah, it should be there. Okay,
Yeah,
so now we finally have our graph. Can you quickly give me a rundown? How should we think about our graph?
It's a group tool, so you can burst down a lot of people at once. Like, basically, you can focus down more than one enemy at once, or you can, like, isolate an enemy and get, like, a guaranteed kill, basically, like I tried to do here with the Doomfist, or did do him with the Doomfist.
Mm-hmm. So what's the goal at the end?
Kills.
No.
Okay.
What's the goal?
Resources?
No. What's the goal?
To move the payload?
Yeah, to win the team fight.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, like, theoretically, if you know, maybe you can just grab off the map and the enemy team is going to be so threatened by your cockiness that they just all disconnect and then you win the game. Like, that would be fine. You don't need kills, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes using grav is fine to prevent the enemies from touching the cart in overtime.
Right.
That doesn't get you any kills. Does that make it a bad grav? No. We just want to ask ourselves, how can I use this tool to win the team fight? That's what your mantra should be. Okay. So in this case, you solo grabbing the Doomfist is perfectly fine. The enemy Widowmaker was already dead, so getting this pick on the Doomfist probably means you've won the fight. Now, the only question here is whether it was even necessary, right?
Right.
As in, would you have been able to win this fight even without it? In this case, your Doomfist also died. He's back here.
Yeah.
Right? So even though you got the pick on the Widowmaker, the enemy team also got a trade kill. So in that case, going for this is perfectly fine. Does that line of reasoning make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're tunneling on the Mercy a little, but that's not necessarily bad. So in general, a good habit is when you're cleaning up the fight, you want to focus, like, you don't care about who to shoot, right? So you probably focus the Mercy because, hey, it's a Mercy, that's like a high value target, correct?
Yeah, I think I was thinking more like if I just keep on the Sigma, I was thinking it'd be quicker to go Mercy then Sigma instead of Sigma then Mercy, because the Mercy's like healing the Sigma throughout it.
Yeah, so when you have a numbers advantage, you basically just want to focus whatever your team is focusing.
Okay.
Because the Mercy healing alone, so when you look at like a 6v6 team fight, then everyone is going to be focusing a completely different target.
Yeah.
And that way, it's very, very easy for the Mercy to heal each target because most of them are focused by only one person. But when the team fight is won, most people, they just focus whoever is on cart. You know, in a situation like this, most of them are going to be focused here, you know, on the tanks, right? So it doesn't really matter that the Mercy heals them because you can just, you know, like, look at this Zarya.
Yeah, she's basically dead already, and if I was there, would definitely already be dead.
Exactly. So these are low threat targets, right? They won't be able to 1v6 turn the teamfight around. these targets are much scarier, so you want to get rid of them. And again, this is only under the assumption that you are ahead in the team fight.
Yeah.
If it's just a normal 6v6, then of course you want to focus the highest, value target, but especially when you're ahead. You just want to get those kills as quickly as possible, which sometimes means, just ignoring the support for now and just helping your team burn down the tanks.
Right, okay. I think I was taking what I was thinking from like 6v6 team fights, like tanks staying alive forever because you're focusing them instead of the support.
Yeah, when the team
and
fight
like
is won,
transitioning it there.
When you see the kill feed light up in kills for your team, you just
right.
You don't give a shit about who you shoot. You just shoot whatever is in front of you and you close out the fight.
Mm-hmm.
So right here again, the bubbles, like just a bit too early, Like you got some energy. The bubble on the Sigma was way too early.
Right.
So you've used both your bubbles and you got what, like 10 energy out of them?
Yeah. Was the Doomfist bubble though? I guess I should have waited until he like actually committed to like shooting at least the first shot, because then he's gonna shoot like his other ones, right? But if I just bubble there, he's gonna be like, oh, screw this, I'm just not gonna shoot it.
So the reason, this is a little bit more advanced, the reason why you don't want to bubble there is because you want to kind of think about whether they have like burst damage or more sustained damage, right? So for example, with Doomfist, by the time he engages on you, like he just used his entire burst, right? Like right there, he used his slam uppercut. That's like most of his damage combo. So not much more damage is going to come, which means that as a tank, you can basically ignore a Doomfist engaging on you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if you have more sustained damage coming in, especially when you stand in front of a lot of enemies, then you can use the bubble more to, because you're going to anticipate more damage coming in. By the way, sorry for the background noise.
You're alright.
Okay. But yeah, so again, main problem is just that, like, right here you're a little low energy, which means you don't really apply a lot of pressure to the enemy team. Like that Reinhardt, for example, could be dead if we just had a bit more energy. It's very important not to evaluate the damage increase you get from energy, right? Because like sometimes you have 60 energy and you can think, oh, that's plenty, but having 70 energy actually makes a huge difference, even though you would think, oh, that's just a 40% damage increase, right? But let's say the enemy Mercy is...
Wait, the 10% between 60 and 70 is 40%?
Each energy point is a 1% damage increase.
Okay.
So a 100% energy Zarya deals 100% more damage than a 0 energy Zarya.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay. So think about it this way, right? Let's say that the enemy team have a Reinhardt, and it's he's being pocketed by a Mercy. Let's say he gets healed for, I'm just going to say 100 health per second. Obviously, that's way too much, but it makes the math a little bit easier. Okay. Right. Let's say that a Zarya, normally, like baseline, she does, let's say she does like, man, I need to think this math through. Okay. Let's say she has 60, let's say she has 60 energy, right? And let's say with 60% energy, she deals 110 damage per second, right?
Okay.
Which means that you deal 10 damage per second in total, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we increase our energy to 100%, right? Let's say that only increases our damage from like 110 DPS to 150, right? So that's not a very big damage increase. But if we look at the actual damage we deal to that Reinhardt, all of a sudden we go from dealing 10 damage per second to him through the Mercy heals to 5 times as much damage through the Mercy heals.
Okay.
Does the math make sense?
Yeah, that
okay.
makes sense.
So that's why even having like a little bit more energy before team fights makes such a massive difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, right here you just kind of have nothing to work with. Obviously, right there with the Doomfist ultimate, that's an example of just using your bubble kind of in anticipation. That is perfectly fine.
Yeah, this is an example of one of those graphs. It's like after I was like, what the hell did I just do? Like very reactionary kind of. I see like monkey brain kind of. I see a bunch of enemy.
So what speaks against this graph?
I don't have like any teammates around me to follow up. Like I'm the one, like I'm the sole person doing this. And like winning the team, if my goal is to win the team fight, then like what team do I even have here with me? Right? Like there's no team fight even going on here. So I get rid of the Doomfist maybe here, but then it's still like a 5v5.
So yeah, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. So your soldier just killed the enemy Reinhardt, right? So that's the main issue here. The issue isn't that like you worry about, you know, your team not being able to follow up. The issue is more about, and the issue also isn't that you're like ulting alone. Ulting alone as Zarya is perfectly fine. Just ulting in a 1v1 is perfectly fine, because again, the only thing we want from our ultimate is what?
Win the team fight.
To win the team fight. So sometimes that means just solo grabbing someone and killing them. But the thing is, if we go for a solo grab, what do we need?
A lot of charge.
A lot of charge, which right here you don't have. You only have 33, right? So that makes a solo grab very dangerous, because as I gave you the math example earlier, the difference between 30 energy and 50 energy is massive when you need to DPS through someone who's pocketed. Okay, so that's why in this situation we don't want to grab, because we have low energy, and more importantly, because the enemy Ryan already died.
Yeah, so we already have that advantage there.
And not just any advantage. The main tank is the most valuable pick you can get.
Right.
So after you kill the enemy main tank, that's kind of your golden ticket. The thing that should be going through your head is, I really want to close out this fight, so that and ideally use as little resources as possible, because that gives me more to work with during my snowball. If you win this team fight without using any ultimates, then you have a lot of momentum that you can carry throughout the rest of the map. And if the enemy team ever tries using their ultimates to take that momentum away from you, to stop that snowball, you can just counter with your own ultimate.
Now I've given up that advantage.
Yeah. And your team still has a significant amount of ultimates, of course, but it obviously feels a little bit better.
Better with one more.
If not just one more, but you need to be kind of a little narcissistic and just say, be a little skeptical of the potential value that your teammates can generate with their ultimates. It's just better to rely on your own ultimate.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, like right here, the enemy Ryan, for example, even though this was a really shit attempt, he did try to stop the snowball with his ultimate.
Yeah.
You know, in this case, it doesn't really matter because he had literally zero follow-up. But if he did have follow-up, that could have been scary. And those are the kinds of situations where we want to have our ultimate. All right, here, look, like we get the checkpoint. Imagine how much more momentum you would get by just ulting here.
Yeah, that'd be like basically get the entire corner or something.
Exactly. Like you wouldn't give the enemy team a chance, even remotely the chance to get back into the game. Okay, see, look what the Doomfist did. So much momentum. The snowball just keeps going. Look, your Moira's ulting. Okay, for some fucking reason, like your entire team is ulting, which is why it's even more important that we have our ultimate, so that we can be the one person not wasting it. Like, the Doomfist got 2 kills. Why did Soldier ult? That's really fucking stupid, right?
Yeah, he's basically...
Now you guys have nothing. The enemy team, they have a Sigma ult, they have a Hanzo ult. You guys, right now, you guys have nothing. Even so it's one thing to gain that momentum, to start the snowball, and actually keeping it, exactly. Okay, get some free charge off of the Fire Strike. See, right here. Look at all of that blue HP that you could have leveraged.
Right. I like completely just blew it early, thinking, okay, I'm gonna wait for them to shoot at me with Sandy open. Yeah. But no, I really didn't even wait.
Them. Make yourself look like a tasty, juicy target that's overextended that they can kill.
Yeah.
It's like the poorer get poorer. The less HP you have, the more attention is going to be drawn to you. But yeah, there is those ultimates that we talked about that you guys do not have. So yeah, now your Moira is dead, your Doom is dead, you're dead. See, so you didn't even get your ultimate in time. So now all of that momentum that you guys had, that huge snowball that you guys have built up, is gone.
Just kaput, because I used an ult.
But okay, let's just look for some energy first. Then we can look to grab 1 or 2 people. And then hopefully win the team fight off of that. Again, a little bit too early. That is also very, very early. Well, actually not too early. If anything, it's too late. Or it's just an awkward timing in general. So actually, never mind, it's last team fight. I'm dumb. I'm sitting too close to my monitor. I'm not looking at the clock. Yeah, given that this is last team fight, you basically had to ult.
Yeah.
Maybe Sigma isn't the best target. You could have probably looked around a little to find something a little better.
Right, I was definitely just panicking, like, okay, after I get out of the stun, I gotta do something. So.
Okay. Well, not much more to say here. This is a...
Yeah, it's basically just clean up here on an attack.
It's kind of deathmatch, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you have full energy. You are jumping around a lot.
Right.
Which obviously makes aiming a little harder. But if you were a DPS player, I would scold you for that. But, you know, as Zarya, it's not a priority for now. Okay, well, I'm going to skip this. This is going to take like 10 years. Yeah. Do we have any questions so far?
No, I think the entire thing of like actually waiting for them to start chewing into my shield makes a lot of sense. Because I was playing a bit of like Rhine before, like trying to practice Zarya and stuff, and I was thinking a lot from like your videos of using like the armor as a resource as far as like when to like going in and timings and stuff with that, and thinking about like that in relation to Zarya's shield is like another resource I have to like build up and like can use to actually like bait out something. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Then same thing on defense. Although this could potentially get a little repetitive, but repeat exposure does aid in improvement. Okay, so right here, what are your thoughts on your positioning?
Yeah, how the hell am I gonna get charged here?
All right.
Yeah, I think like here I'm thinking like sort of like a scared puppy, because every time I've held like up where that Sigma is on the corner, it feels like I just get steamrolled. But that's sort of like why my thought process is here, like standing up on this ledge. But like the Sigma's already gone down there. Well, so like if I'm not helping him, I'm just letting them.
Well, let's take the thought process, right? You said that if you stood here, you would get destroyed. So what's going to happen to the Sigma?
He's gonna get destroyed.
And then what's your plan? How are you going to win the team fight after that?
I don't have one. You know?
Right. That's the thing. Sometimes you're being forced into ultimatums, right? Like, imagine this is a Tenta tantrum, you know, maybe the Sigma is really mad because you ate the last Hot Pocket, you know, and he's like, fuck you, you know, now I'm going to stand down here and you can't do anything about it, you know? Like, if you're...
Yeah, I might as well help him as the better of two.
Yeah, like if your kid is about to do something really stupid out of spite, like, you could watch and laugh, but you will probably make sure that he doesn't fucking die, you know?
Right.
So yeah, right here, babysit your Sigma. If he wants to play down there, you don't have a choice. That's just how it goes. Ooh, lots of energy. Interesting Reinhardt pin. Don't waste your bubble. That was a wasted bubble. Don't waste your self bubble either. Okay, playing aggressive. Come on, go in. You have your bubble, man. When you have your bubble, just go in and get energy. You're too conservative here. Don't be scared.
Ryan's already dead. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just go. Get some ult charge. You know, be annoying. The more ult charge you can get before the team fight, the less time pressure is going to be on you to get it during the team fight. Okay, that's a little bit of energy. Okay, keeping it on your Sigma. Right here, this is fine. Playing a little bit back, giving up some space because you don't have energy. If you had more energy there, then you could have played more aggressively. But right here, you basically just need to stay alive. Right there, that's the situation with the Doomfist again, where you need to be careful about panic bubbling. You are slowly getting some ult charge, but again, do you see how long it took you?
Yeah, it took forever. It's already like I'm 2 minutes into this round, and I'm not even like don't even have an ult yet.
Exactly. Now it's already looking a little not so in your favor. Okay, but we are cleaning up, so that's good at least. Again, that bubble is too soon.
I had saved it for when that Ryan was actually swinging on him, like.
Yeah, and then right here you needed to bubble because otherwise you would have died, but yeah. More energy could have been the difference between you getting your ultimate. Like, if you look at the situation, you know, you got your ultimate right
2 minutes.
right here.
Yeah.
Let's just go 5 seconds back, you know? Bam. This is 5 seconds back. Ulting here would have been better.
Yeah, because I'm alive at least.
Exactly. Just getting our ultimate 5 seconds earlier would have made such a massive difference. What about 10 seconds? Even better.
Huge.
Right? So that's why it's so every single point of charge makes a difference. Like one player who has 50 energy, like average charge, is way better than someone who has like 45. It makes a massive difference. Okay. So right here we are a little low on the energy budget. This is one of those situations where you could have just gotten pinned. Like,
yeah, I could have baited it with the bubble.
Intentionally, yeah. But that's like a little advanced, so with experience you'll start to recognize those kinds of opportunities.
Right.
That bubble on the Sigma was a little too early. Let them take damage. Especially tanks, right? Sigma is not going to get one shot. Don't be scared of like of him dying before you get to bubble him. You have plenty of time.
Yeah, I just bubbled with plenty of blue health. The whole thing.
It just takes you a very, very long time to get that energy. Okay, rip. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you I'm sorry that this is getting repetitive, but you really need to get into that rhythm. Like the most important part that of like, or like the first big step to improve Zarya gameplay is getting that discipline in. Like being disciplined with your bubbles is so important. Okay, right there, bubbling preemptively is okay. Okay, now we finally have energy. Let's see what we do with it. Okay. A little conservative. Don't self-bubble for the love of God. Come on, go. See, like right here, you have a bunch of energy, you have your self-bubble. The world's your oyster.
And ult even.
Yeah, like don't be scared. Why did you bubble? I didn't even... See, like my brain didn't even process that this was a possible, like, situation to bubble in. So, I didn't even realize that you used it.
Yeah, I just bubbled to eat the Rhine to go.
You have 95 energy. Oh, you're like a fucking Wall Street banker who like fucking goes down to pick up a penny, you know? Yes, every point of energy makes a big difference.
And this whole time I could have used like the pressure myself bubble to push him off the cart, actually.
Yeah. I mean, you even have your ultimate. You have so much leverage here, but you don't use it until the last possible second where you've already lost everything.
Yeah.
By the way,
again, when we look at our bubbles here, he was still full HP, and I mean, I guess we weren't completely low HP, so your bubble technically wasn't terrible, but the bubble on the Doomfist was too early. Let your teammates get to critical, and then bubble them. It's not your job to keep them alive, right? That's your support's job. You just want to get energy out of it, and you get more energy out of it if you wait until the last second. Like, it sounds very selfish and kind of evil to intentionally let them take damage. But ultimately,
that's the way I get the most charge.
That's how you get energy, and that's how you can win the game for them. Okay. Right here we can just chill. You do have your self bubble, so like what I can see is kind of I don't think there's ever been like a single moment in this game where you've tried to bait the enemy team.
Yeah, like I don't actually like bait them with my health, I just bait them with my positioning.
Yeah, like it feels like you're so scared of them and like so in your shell. Like you need to be a little cocky, you know, like bait them, like posture in front of them and say, yo guys, shoot me if you dare. Okay. Okay, there's the ultimates. Close games like this are really nice because you can very easily see how just getting your ult a little bit earlier, having a little bit more energy when you were trying to burn someone down is enough.
Makes all the difference.
You know?
Yeah, I was just thinking, grab the Nano Genji.
Yeah, no, that's fine. At that point, you don't even need to worry about energy. Like, just denying 2 ultimates with your 1 ultimate is 100% worth it. See, even right here, why not Like, be cocky, you know? Just chill here, you know? Eat some damage, you know? I don't know, flip them off, whatever you feel like, you know? What I used to do is I used to keybind, like, voice emotes, and I would just stand here and spam the voice emote until they shoot me, and then I bubble myself and get free energy and fuck off. You get energy and it tilts them into oblivion.
I need to put a voice line on my bubble. Yeah,
it's like such a good strat. Trust me. Mental warfare. The lower elo you are, the more, like, the easier you need to make it for the enemy team to give you energy. Mm-hmm. Surprisingly, getting energy in high elo is easier because people actually land their shots and apply much more pressure. But in low elo, you kind of need to beg them a little to shoot you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, see, like this entire first half of the team fight, we didn't have energy. Now we have a little. Try to farm up as much energy as you can before the fight, so you don't have to do it during.
Because during, I might only get like 1, maybe 2 bubbles off ever.
Yeah, and more importantly...
But in the interim, I have so much time.
More importantly, you'll have the energy, but then you won't have any bubbles to actually use that energy for any good.
Yeah.
Okay, well... Do we have any questions?
Yeah, so I had one question regarding like like how to divide my playtime and stuff, because I like right now it feels like I can play like 3 or so games, and then literally it feels like my like I guess like my mental just goes like down. Like no matter if I'm winning or losing those games or whatever, like my actual like feels like I lose, like I just start playing worse after a couple games, and then I'll take a break or whatever, and I'll come back, but it doesn't feel like it comes back as much. Like I feel like it's hard for me to do like a full day and like keeping the same like ability that I had in the first couple of games. It's not like I don't want to play. Like it's not like my issue with playtime is like that I'm like bogged down, like I'm tired or anything. It's just I literally feel like I'm getting worse as the time goes on.
Okay. I mean, after like what time span are we talking about here?
Like if I'm trying to do like a day where I'll play like do the cycle of like playing for like a hour or so, take like a nice little 10 whatever minute break, and then I come back or something. It's just like it feels like when I come back, it's like gone, or like I don't know, it just never feels like it's as good as the first couple of games. Is that like a time thing? Like maybe as I just like do this more often, like the actual interval of like.
So yes, you do kind of build stamina over time. But like you also need to be careful about like reading too much into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe I'm like thinking like that my decision making is getting worse, but maybe it's actually the case that I'm like noticing more things.
Pretty much. Usually people tend to get better up to 2 hours in, then they kind of reach their peak, which usually lasts around 2 more hours, and then after that it starts to slowly go downhill. That's kind of what it looks like for most players.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. And then what else was I thinking about? Yeah, it's I don't know. I had a question related to the playtime thing. I'm trying to remember it. Oh yeah, so would you recommend just like, even if you go on like a lost streak kind of thing, just to like just keep going through it for the sake of like practice and stuff? Because like it feels like whenever I'm like on a lost streak or something, like that I'm like, okay, I should like stop so I'm not getting like bad habits or whatever, right? But like it's also like if I stop, then I'm not like actually getting practice time in.
Mm-hmm.
No. So, like where would you say the balance is there with that? Should I like after like a lost streak or something do like a VOD review?
Yeah, so I wouldn't like just completely stop playing. I would take like a break, maybe 10-15 minutes to just mental reset a little. You can do a VOD review, although usually it's better to wait with the VOD review until the next day, so you could like sleep over it, kind of let it go through your head. After a big loss streak, you're usually like a little emotional and subconsciously tilted, so the VOD reviews just aren't as effective, I would just take a 15-minute break and then go at it again. But like ultimately, you don't play to win. Like that's not the goal. That's not super duper important.
Right, and I think I've kind of gotten over like that in my head. It's just like it also feels like, you know, winning is a good like indicator of whether or not you're improving, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd probably need to just
Overwatch.
I think it's also that I haven't been looking at like my characters, like the actual things I can do on my characters as far as improvement. So like on Zarya, like the only like metric I had was like whether or not I'm doing good was basically whether or not I had high energy. But now I have like something else to like tell me how to actually get high energy.
Overwatch is a 6v6 game. You're going to lose games you play well in, you're going to win games you play poorly in. I wouldn't worry too much about like winning or losing, and you don't want to use wins or losses to evaluate your progress. Okay?
Yeah, I just need to use how I actually felt about my personal performance in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
You went into that game with a goal. You want to improve at a particular area of your gameplay. Do you feel like you've accomplished that? Do you feel like you've gained experience and made progress? Then why does it matter whether you lost or won?
Yeah, I guess it's just the tilting factor, you know, like the sort of, I guess with time as well, that factor goes away because you become like even less and less attached to the win and loss as you practice, you know, not being attached to it over time.
Yeah, I mean, what's your goal? You want to hit like GM or something?
Yeah.
So what does it matter if you gain 100 SR today? That doesn't make you GM.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't like basically look at it binary, you know? You're either at your goal rank or you're below. How much below does not matter.
Right.
Either you're
the actual like
or you're not.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Okay. So,
all right.
Do we have any final questions?
I wish I had more questions, but there's like because it's like 10 minutes left, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. But yeah, I think that's I think I definitely have plenty to go off of with the learning the rhythm stuff on Zarya, like actually playing around that. And just having higher energy passively for like these games will like teach me a lot more about actually like timings as far as when to be aggressive and gain alt charge and such.
Yeah, it's something that kind of just comes like it's something you need to actively focus on when you actually play the game. Okay.
The rhythm or the like aggression? I guess both.
Both. They kind of go hand in hand. Like Zarya is just one big package, if that makes sense.
Yeah. You can only even practice the aggression part if you have like the rhythm part already, because then you have the energy for the answer to aggression to sometimes be, yeah, do it, instead of like always, you have zero energy, don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense, yeah. I definitely want to go try that out like right now. So that's a good feeling, I guess.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Well, then you know how to get that follow-up going. Again, I'm sorry about the background noise, but I don't pay rent.
It's all good.
You know, it's not my house, so not my rules.
I understand. It's karma for my days in Modern Warfare 2 lobbies or whatever. My mom just like yell in the background.
Well, then I guess I wish you the best of luck.
All right, cool. Have a good one.
Have a good one. See ya.
Yeah, see ya.